We are actually in the draft, so we can take a look at what changed in the bans, if the bans are already on the way, that is.
10 seconds.
Because they're not. So this is a fresh draft for Team Spirit. They're actually thinking quite long about this first ban. As if they're not sure what they're going for anymore.
Yeah, you know, they shouldn't have to think about it too long. Bounty would be a great idea, but hey, you know, take your time, think about it.
Our Spirit once again.
Okay, well,
yeah.
great.
Remember, they also have first pick,
Yeah,
so they can take it if they want.
They could.
What are we, which team or which player rather are we going to see shut down most? Is it going to be Iceberg again on Team Spirit? Is that where the focus of Finem is going to be at?
Every game, even the last game, they focused on him really heavily.
You mentioned that they would do it as well in previous games that you've watched from these two together. So.
I mean, that's actually very reminiscent of what was happening at Starladder with Vici Gaming Reborn, where teams were just trying to punish Mikasa mid, and the way that they handled it was they either gave him more help or they gave him more survivable heroes. So Wind Ranger is another hero that comes to mind. We'll see if they make either of those adjustments, but that's definitely one way to play it.
All right, well, we're going to get rid of that horrific bounty hunter. Good call there, Mr. Team Spirit, but who's our first pick?
Chen.
It does mean that we have Chen still in the pool, and also Beastmaster was banned out first phase last game, but was not, well, right now, that is.
Yeah, I think Beastmaster is the pick.
Oh, yeah.
I even wrote it down.
As called by two of our wonderful analysts. Look at that. It actually is proof. He wrote it down, Beastmaster.
First pick.
Although you did write BM, you know?
Bad manner.
So that
Bad
could
manner
be anything. That could honestly be anything. All right,
Brood
next pick
Mother.
coming
It
up.
could be a Brood Mother.
You're completely wrong.
Or,
all right. Team
or
Admiral.
Broodmaster, as apparently some people call him.
Brewmaster.
Broodmaster and Brewmaster.
There you go.
Yeah.
Two known first picks in the scene.
Yeah, it's very hot and happening right now. At Finem, though, I mean, they have got the Chen player. As I say, Spartan plays a really good Chen. He is really active on that.
Yep.
What could make him doubt that would be a good first pick?
I don't think anything makes it a bad first pick here right now.
But why is he not picking it yet?
Maybe he's thinking about the second hero.
Yeah, you gotta take your time, you know? It's the reveal, okay? You gotta wait for that shock.
They
Bam, bam. You know, you can't do bam.
They love the IO.
They
Beastmaster helps giving you vision against IO. It's not like a hard counter by any means, so...
Your Roar IO, I was very sad, though. Roar IO axes. You got no talisman there.
Oh boy, the push is on.
No talisman. What is it? Necronomicon is what I mean.
Enchantress.
Never mind. Then IO is really fast dead. That's what I meant.
I love this. I love these.
Oh, yeah.
I love Enchantress vs. Chen games. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just like my parents fighting for custody.
No, but it's really...
Is that too far?
But see, I feel like with you, it's the opposite of the normal custody fight. It's like, no, you take him.
No,
I don't want him.
I don't want him.
No, I don't want
We're
him.
looking for a Mirana to just put an arrow through that heart for sure. But anyway.
Brutal.
I think, but Enchantress wins that matchup. Because you take a creep from Chen and you put the duration on it, and when Chen takes it back, the duration is still there.
I love it, dude. I love the kidnapping. You know, when they take one and then they just have it run away. Like, no, my child, please.
No, but basically what Enchantress does, he takes his child, puts a disease on it so it's going to die regardless in 30 seconds or so. You can have it back whenever you want, but it's going to die anyway.
Jesus, Shiva, calm down.
So
you're sick. All right, anyway, Death Prophet. Talking about ladies and dead children, we got the Death Prophet right here.
Nice segue.
It's true.
Well played.
Got it. All right. See you at TI6, guys. Coming up next. Now, who are we going to be banning out here? Is that a Brood? You son of a biscuits. Give me one Brood game.
Please no.
No. Oracle. Why not? Why is that? Analyst.
Pretty good against the Beastmaster Roar.
Against Chen creeps as well. They're locked in place, and perhaps they're setting up for a Darkseer still.
Also, it's one
Probably
of
Do they
not,
run
though,
like
actually.
do they run like jungle
deals.
Beastmaster at all?
Yeah, but
I mean,
if
they're
they
even
run,
Enchantress, so
I was gonna say I don't think they
you could
will.
offlane the edge potentially.
If you ulti Death Prophet when he's low health and all he does is just use Soul Siphon, all of a sudden the Oracle ulti is like boom,
yeah, that
you know
heal is insane.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
good
It's
point
an amazing
there.
combination.
All right, no Wisp. Interestingly enough, Finem's going to be taking out the Wisp, but they don't really have a Wisp lineup right now. So
Yeah, this is super heavy push already, and they have Beastmaster, so there's a couple of ways to try and deal with the push strat. One is to get like heavy wave clear. H Apparition used to be a great counter. Generally, he gets punished too much by the jungle pressure heroes early game, or there's just trying to win before the like push engine comes online. So Warcry is pretty good against Death Prophet ult, as well as Witch Doctor ult, so I really like this Fed pick, purely just for the Warcry more than anything else here.
Surprised no Lycan pick. Like, I think Lycan's probably one of the best counters to Death Prophet in the game. You know, just ulti run at her.
10 seconds
I mean, if they really want to push, there's also Juggernaut out there. heal overload.
Yeah.
It is in the
Probably the worst hero against Fen, like carry-wise.
it is the
Like,
in the
even-
Madara wheelhouse, but yeah, it's
Reserve
not great
time.
against that.
Especially
Gyro
if
if
you
they
got a lot
want
of
some magic
Necronomicons
damage.
there.
I like to think of Juggernaut as the forgotten hero in this tournament. He's hardly ever been picked at all, and
We've seen him banned a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
he's banned okay once in a while. Never hardly picked at DreamLeague. They don't like him, man. He is extinct. I don't know.
So much Sven. Like honestly,
It's a lot
Yeah.
of spit.
the Warcry makes your ulti kind of useless.
Yeah, so well, maybe we'll see him. We probably won't, though. He is
Yeah,
forgotten.
this
No one
game,
cares.
more likely, I think, a Gyrocopter if they want that just
And for the
Tanky.
offlane, avoid.
tanky safe laner that can fight early. Void would be great with Death Prophet, Witch Doctor. But I'd find him.
I think Lycan could be good.
Finem.
Finem.
Lycan
Finem?
for the Finims.
To the
You were
end.
smacking me around before the show.
I was not. You have been picking on me all show. I've said nothing but wonderful
Radiant
things to you.
team picked.
Okay. The Ember Spirit is going to be picked up. I don't like Ember Spirit. I know everybody thinks he's cool. Hey, let's wait the entire game and have him do 3 rapiers and at the end, but he's like, I don't like him. He
That-
hardly ever wins.
But that is the only only way we've seen Ember Spirit here.
Dire team
Whenever there's an
back.
Ember Spirit in the game, we're gonna have a 60-minute game, 70-minute game, and we're gonna see rapiers, and they're gonna fall, and they're gonna go to the enemy team, and Sven's gonna take them, and they're gonna win.
Yeah, welcome
That's
to every
our
Ember Spirit game
game.
ever. Oh, who was that? Somebody was just screaming.
Radiant
Oh,
team back.
Wind Ranger.
Wind Ranger does not like to be
Ranger.
banned. Jesus. Okay, well, the classic counter. I love a disruptor pick against an Ember Spirit. Anytime he tries to run, you just drag him back, ult him, and then he's got nothing to do. So
This is the lineup they
10
picked when they beat
seconds remaining.
Team Spirit like a week ago.
that is correct.
Like pretty much the exact same lineup.
So we'll
Dire
see what their
team
last
pick.
pick's going to be. Any predictions here, analysts?
Void.
Um,
The other purple guy.
There's
Yeah.
still
Purple Shred?
It's still a decent one. I mean, what else does Skylark play?
there's still a Bat Rider.
True, he
It's
does.
not really one of his go-to heroes though.
Bat Rider against Disruptor is tough.
I would say you would have to avoid the void or you're going to get destroyed.
Avoid the void.
The one weakness of this ad
10
Finem draft is they do not have any heroes that really give vision.
5
And they are
seconds
dire
remaining.
side. Their Roche potential is decent with the Death Prophet. Not spectacular.
Talking about vision. Out of the box. Hey, Stalker.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Night
same thing.
Stalker,
It's,
hey.
It's somewhat out of the box. I mean, we saw him yesterday in
it's very
in the
good against
finals.
Disruptor actually.
Yeah,
Because
he
you,
is.
you ulti and you can't really glimpse people.
Oh, I
Tied.
like that.
But they're just doubling down on the 5-man team fight.
Yeah.
They walk at you. What are you gonna do?
Anchor Smash is really good against Fen.
Why is that?
Just because he's all about the strength, and Anchor Smash is based off of your strength.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're based up.
Interesting. All right. So last pick here for Team Spirit. They've got some definite work to do. They have a lot of team fight. They got drawn out team fight. Team Spirit's got to do something about that.
They got some team fight.
10 seconds
they got some.
remaining.
They just go for Invoker, right?
So yeah, like a mid semi-core of some kind.
5
There's also
seconds
Queen of
remaining.
Pain if they want to get an Orchid carrier, would be really good against Ember.
Why did they leave Invoker in the pool?
Reserve time.
Worthless hero. I mean, extremely underpowered this patch.
I mean, it is Iceberg's signature hero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it combos really well with Beastmaster as well. You know, you roar someone, easy Sunstrike, Sven, easy Sunstrike.
Yeah, I think it'll be Quap or Invoker most likely.
They're taking their time thinking about it, though.
But they banned out Wind Ranger, knowing that there was an Invoker in the pool. Would you rather not face Wind Ranger than an Invoker this game?
She is much more reliable lockdown against Ember. Like if you get the Blink Shackle, it's actually a pretty good way to kill him. So maybe trying to secure the late game a bit more.
Here comes that wild pick I was talking
Invoker
about.
takes a while to get online though. I'd be kind of worried.
It
Maybe
ain't-
Quap is a better.
I like Quap. Quap Enchantress is a really strong early pressure lane, and is a natural Orchid carrier, which just puts tons of. It just makes it hard for Ember. Basically, his life is a sad
This is it.
sad
Well-
spirit. He fizzles right out.
And in the lane then, because how does Death Prophet do against those?
That
against
Prophet's
Queen of
pretty
Pain?
good against everyone.
Death Prophet doesn't really lose the lane
Yeah.
unless it's a dual lane.
But you want to win
Then
the
he
lane,
just
right?
two soul
We
siphons.
saw the amount of pressure they put on that mid lane previous game. They're going to try to do that again with the Chen. And we know that Spartan is so
Oh,
aggressive with his Chen as well.
That was the most drawn out Invoker pick ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come
I mean, they
on.
were probably debating between those two heroes. Both have their pros and cons. This gives them a little more late game than the Queen of Pain. Lating stage is a little bit weaker in terms of the kill potential unless Enchantress gets ridiculous creeps.
I'm terrified if I'm Invoking in this game because like I know these guys are gonna push every single lane.
Yep.
I'm gonna have no space.
So which box are you going for?
I'm all aboard the Finem hype train. Let's go.
Yep.
Choo choo.
True. I'm also still on Finem, by the way. You can put me down straight away. Thank you. What do you think, LD? This box or that box?
Wait, which box is on which side?
Same side.
I'm staying away from Shane here, so I'm gonna go with Team Spirit. They have the
You called us first
Beastmaster.
last time.
Yep. Well, I'm going for the 2 losses, Shane. You don't even know. Next level strategies.
What do you think, Slacks?
I said it before the game, the draft, before everything.
Yeah.
Team Spirit is about to reveal their grand strat.
yeah.
I'm with you, LD. Let's ride this guy, baby.
That's what's up. America.
A little bit of an awkward moment there.
That was fine.
Okay.
We fixed it
Shane
quick.
caught in the middle.
It was a high five and a bump. It was
Well, I
fixed
wanted
it.
the high five, but you know.
That was a
more
moment.
powerful.
That was a
Okay, next
It is
time we can
time.
talk about it before.
We're gonna have these guys sort out what they're gonna do next. High five or fist bump. We'll tell you after game number 2 of Finem versus Team Spirit with Odie Pixel and Draskell.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for Game 2 between Team Spirit and Finem. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Draskell, and this time round, Andy, I've got to say I'm feeling a little bit more confident for Spirit. They've managed to knock Finem up a bit. I mean, Finem by all means still got strong heroes, but it's nothing like the draft from Game 1, so we're not going to see a repeat.
Yeah, I think it's really important to note that Team Spirit, they're picking the same kind of draft where they still want to fight a lot. So they're sticking to what they know best, but they're picking it in a smarter way, which I really like to see. But we're going to go ahead and hop into the game right now as it's finally unpaused. But I do believe that Finem are going to have some pretty terrifying 5-man at a fairly early stage in the game. So we're looking to this Enchantress, we're looking to some Sunstrikes to potentially, help win the laning phase for Team Spirit. And, potentially what can the Chen do to mid? Because Invoker is a lot more gankable than a Queen of Pain. But we'll see if they want to do anything a little bit different with the lanes here, as Iceberg is actually heading down towards bottom for the moment, but it could just be for the rune. We'll see. If it's just Iceberg mid, then you can just go around with the Chen. You get a Soul Siphon and a good creep.
Well, what does that mean? Good luck, unhappy face.
That's a good luck, but I'm sad
Good luck.
about something.
I'm sad, but you guys, good luck to you guys. I mean, I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he's not happy with the DP pick. Is like, do I really have to play this one, Captain?
It's not the most exciting hero to
Yeah,
play.
it's not. It's like, good luck. I'm about to have an absolutely rubbish time playing this really boring hero. But we'll see. Talking about the opposite of boring heroes, I always want to fly on his Disruptor over the ages. This man, he knows exactly what he's doing on this. We can expect to see some great setups here with the glimpses.
Yeah, I would assume so. It's really nice, too, against these kind of push lineups in a way, because even though you're not great at de-pushing, when the push subsides and they start backing up and you get like a Thunderstrike into a glimpse, you get a free pick-off, that's when the hero starts to become really powerful. And we've seen that utility multiple times across many different series here at the DreamLeague, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. But I have to agree with you. I really like Team Spirit's draft this game. The biggest question is, what can we look to expect here from Goblak's Enchantress during the laning phase? I think his impact is going to be very important as far as what can Team Spirit get out of their lanes, because when that 5-man comes from Finem, it's coming hard. Like that is like a Tidehunter, Death Prophet, Chen 5-man team. Stopping that train is going to be quite a task.
Yeah, it really, really is. And we just know that Finem as a team play the team fights perfectly. As you said, they've got the heroes for it, and we know that as a team, they've got the synergy for it as well, going from what we saw in Game 1 in terms of performance and individual player skill and the way that they work around each other. And bottom lane, Skylark already being got on here by a couple of them. He's got the anchor smash, so Illidan's punches aren't going to do as much, but already just the harassment with the Thunderstrike. The Sunstrike as well won't quite clip him. Skylark goes to the side and will have that salve to top himself back up, but already we're seeing the aggressive potential here of this Sven and Disruptor combination.
Yeah, that Sunstrike was actually trying to cover like all the options that he had and just unfortunately missed by a tiny bit. I don't know if it would have killed, but they're going to go for a round 2 here on bottom lane. The body blocks from Illidan. All right, there we go.
Molly gets around, does still have the Stormhammer. Now comes out the anchor smash again. The Sunstrike's off point. One more touch will do it, and they'll get it. Always want to fly. Finds it there. I think maybe the I don't know if maybe the Sunstrike actual vision helped him get that.
No. That Sunstrike was way off.
That
was yeah. Illidan was just walking next to him without auto attacking to make sure that he stayed in vision for always want to fly to get another auto attack.
Touch in. Yeah. But I mean, already this is a tough lane to start off here for the Tide. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't fall behind. He is about to touch on to level 2.
Yep. once he gets to like 2 and 3, it's going to be a little bit harder to kill him. But at the same time, I really like that they go all in on killing the Tide at the level 1, because once he starts getting extra points in a Kraken, it's like a free Stout Shield on steroids, more or less, once you get to that 3 points. So.
Yeah, I mean, unless, a rotation from Goldblack, maybe they can still do it, get a kill onto the Tide, but as you said, there's a couple of the disruption this Sven, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. Elsewhere, I mean, Ember Spirit, top lane, he is having a great time. Already we can see Beastmaster just iron-talonning himself on that side camp. They did manage to get the early D-ward as well. We did see Finem look to block that at the start, but it was D-warded very, very early on from the side of Team Spirit. But of course, this is just going to mean that Ember Spirit is going to get absolute free farm on this top lane, and that's perfect for an Ember. That's going to mean that he is going to get really good timing on the expected bots. And off the back of that, going across the map, he just still have to be careful, I guess. With the Disruptor in play, there are ways for Team Spirit to kill the Ember. But other than that, I mean, Enchantress, the Sven, in terms of catch potential, it's not really there. Even the Invoker, you should be able to remnant away from these heroes.
Yeah, it's not too hard, actually, to stay safe until the Beastmaster really gets a blink. That's going to be the point in which, you know, smoke into Roar can be an insta-kill, especially if the Beastmaster has book going. But that's not for quite a while. So like you were saying, there's ample time for him to stay safe. Iceberg here, baiting it out.
That's it, yeah, indeed. Go back to come in, and with the cold snap onto Thug, it is nicely done. And it was exactly that, as you said. Iceberg looked to be in a really bad position, but it was all calculated because he knew he had the entry around the corner. And that's going to set up a second kill for Spirit. So already good start in terms of the action. Spartan is hanging around here. We'll see if he's going to try and make a move to try and find something in return. And Skylark, level 3 now, as he backs off to clear this camp. And I think, as you were talking about the Ember Spirit and the ways that they can catch him out, is this a game where we can expect the Ember to be picking up at a Lincoln Sphere, or does that not really help you too much against this lineup as a whole?
I think it depends on the item timings that he has. Like, if he's farming super well, and he has, like, bots Battle Fury blink at, like, minute 20, 25, then I think Lincoln's is not a terrible choice for him.
Better than a BKB here?
Yeah, I think it's better than BKB. Because the thing is, it blocks a lot of high priority spells. So even just blocking a Thunder Strike is good, because that way you're never going to get glimpsed if you can just walk away or Sleight of Fist or Remnant back. You know what I mean? So it's blocking like the initiation spell, or it's blocking like at worst an enchant or a cold snap, which are still pretty useful spells to block. So I think it's not a bad pickup per se. Just depends on how fast he's farming and the state of the game.
I mean, if anything's to be said from the beginning of this first 4 minutes with 30 CS, it certainly could be a very, very nice game for the Ember in terms of the farm that he'll get. I see Team Spirit, we're looking for some kind of action there. Goblak did have the DD coming up to the high ground, but Chen watching him, just making sure he backs off. And the mid lane matchup at the moment, 16 for 9, 13 for 4. Iceberg certainly having an easier time this game as opposed to against Thug's Quap in game 1, but Thug still with a slight edge on the Death Prophet, which I guess at the earlier levels that can be expected.
Yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, Death Prophet's obviously just a super strong laner with Spirit Siphon, and there has been some prioritization.
Oh, Skylark. He's coming in here. He's heading straight for the Disruptor. He does have this rotation from Spartan, and they might find always want to fly. Skylark, he's going to be fine, in fact, with MNT coming in, Paralyzing Cask and Maledict onto Illidan, forcing him back. So they will get the kill on the Disruptor. And mid lane, Team Spirit, they see the fact that Finem throw both the Cham rotation and the Witch Doctor down bottom. Go Black, he avoids trying to counter that, looks for the bigger priority kill there on the mid lane, and they get it. So Death Prophet for a Disruptor. Team Spirit kind of out-mind gaming Finem there with the movements from the supports.
Now, Godblack has been on point with his rotations as well. Like, killing the Death Prophet in the early game, we've talked about this a lot, and I'm pretty sure even during other tournaments people bring this up, but Death Prophet's one of those heroes where if you die a couple of times during the early game, it's so hard to come back on that hero. You kind of have to start 5-manning as soon as your Exorcism is available, and you need to be tanky. Thankfully, he does have a Chen, who's eventually going to have Mech, and he's going to have Ravage to back it up, so it's not like the worst case scenario, but you definitely want to start thinking about protecting this Death Prophet, because Thug cannot afford to die that many more times.
I mean, you said it earlier, just the draft of Finem, they are going to be going for these full-on pushes. I mean, at what point of the game does that happen? Is it dependent on a certain item pickup? And, well, actually, we're talking about MNT. He's in trouble here as they move in. He's falling low. Actually grabs the bounty rune. Still goes down. Skylark's come in. A bit of a counter rotation. Goblak healing himself up on the high ground. I'll just clear out some of the creeps here that have been thrown into the battlefield in the river. But yeah, timing for Finem. I mean, already it's 4-1 favoring Spirit, but the farm's still going pretty good for the side. What are they waiting for the full 5-man?
I mean, they need Death Prophet to hit like level 9, I think, because most Death Prophets don't skill Exorcism nowadays until level 9. Sometimes you see it a bit earlier, but it's fairly uncommon. And then obviously you're going to want Tide Ravage. That's pretty much it, and Chen Heal, I suppose. So once you get your 6s on the Chen and the Tide, Thug is going to need around level 9, which usually is kind of the same timing, depending on how the early game's going, but Thug has been pressured quite a bit, so he's a little bit behind in the experience department. Not by a huge margin, like a couple of minutes and he'll be just fine, but for now it's Team Spirit controlling the early game momentum. They got a good tempo control right now, as to be expected with the Enchantress and whatnot, and I think Goblak's rotations have just been a little bit more successful than what Spartan has been able to accomplish. But at the same time, the way that Finem's lineup works is once they hit 6, they just death ball. So like getting a gank here and there for Spartan is going to be great, but it's not 100% needed. He just needs to make sure that he has his mech. Maybe he goes Arcanes as well, and then they just start mowing down some buildings.
Yeah, I mean, one of the pluses, of course, is going to be kind of the interaction between the Sven and the Ember. I guess in one sense, you know, Sven's going to have a hard time killing the Ember unless you've got the control. But at the same time, when Team Spirit do turn up to these engagements, Warcry, pretty good against the old Sleight of Fist.
Yeah, but the thing about Ember early is that he's actually not a physical damage dealer. He's completely reliant on Flame Guard and Searing Chains. So when he walks into a team fight, he's not looking to auto-attack. He just wants to like stand next to you, use the Searing Chains, lock you down, maybe set up for a Tide Ravage or a Witch Doctor ultimate or something like that. And then he remnants back if he ever gets put in any immediate danger. So the way that Madara plays this isn't really frontline. It's more just, I have my frontline with a Tide Hunter, a Chen army, and, you know, my Death Prophet. I don't need to take the hits. I can just, you know, play on the periphery, Sleight of Fist, and set up for kills.
I mean, Madara on this top lane, he needs to be slightly careful, surely, because a Roar into Sunstrike could do a lot of damage to the Ember at this point.
He only has level 1 axes, though. Like, if Flame Guard's up, he actually can't go on him. Flame Guard's down, though. You are on point. He definitely can die.
He does need to be a little bit aware of the Beastmaster, looking to make that jump. I mean, you see Beastmaster coming forward a bit.
Actually, yeah, if they Roar Axe Sunstrike right now, he would die, yeah. But it's very close, and you kind of have to assume that the support's not going to be in position because until just now, he didn't have his Hawk out. So now with that, he'll be able to see if he's available to get a kill. But
I mean, funny at the moment, he has got 1,800 gold. I do assume he's still going to go for the Necro, but before the Blink. Is there any reason why he would get the Blink first this game? And well, they're going to use the Raw Sunstrike to find someone else. MNT comes a little bit too close for comfort. They do get the kill. Bottom lane, Thug is going to get brought back there by the Glimpse, but Skylark comes in with the Ravage onto 2. Always want to fly. He's going to get taken down. Illidan will get the TP out. So it is a Ravage committed there for that Disruptor kill. Off the back of that, they'll look to start to push, and here we're going to start to see the momentum of Finem with 4 heroes committing to this bottom lane push, and Midas the option here for this go back Enchantress.
yeah, that's good, actually. I like Midas on Ench in this game. Good for the Chen army and whatnot. You can just get rid of some of the creeps. And the other thing, too, is you're not really going to find an item on Enchantress that's going to have a gigantic impact as a first item. Like, typically you see Dragon Lance, you know, or Treads and a stick. So, yeah, it's nothing, like, huge that he's going to be able to get that's just going to turn the game around in one item. So if they want to play it a little bit greedier, wait it out, you know, even the attack speed still helps Enchantress anyway, because most of the time you're sitting in the back just auto-attacking people. So for that hero, I think it's perfectly okay to go for a Midas in this position. They do lose their safe lane tier 1, though. And I like the movement from the Ember. He's just realizing that he needs to play as kind of a space creator in this game.
And he might even find himself a kill in this positioning. He comes forward. There will be a glimpse back, but straight away with the Remnant to counter it. Madara moves back into position and takes himself a kill. And as you said, the activity from this Ember certainly paying off as he's top of the board in terms of net worth. 4.8k at the moment on the Ember Spirit. And it may look to rise even more if Finem commit for this second tier 2.
Yeah, they're being very patient with their ultimates as well. They're not committing Exorcism to this tower. To be honest, this has high ground potential. Like, look at how many skeletons they freaking have, man. This is insane. This is actually a high ground potential push.
How much damage you got in each of those? 24. Hey, it's not bad.
I mean, they're no Treants, but they'll do. They're not going to go for the full commitment. They just want to maybe protect their tier 1 or just go for the tier 1 mid themselves.
Let's see how much of a wrap round they can get. That's the bot's turn for the Ember Spirit. Iceberg still positioned fairly deep into enemy territory, and they can find this wraparound here. He's already going to start heading up the river. It looks like that'll be enough for him to get away. The bird here will flap his last.
Under attack.
It's getting a little bit sketchy though for Spirit because right now they do have all of their ultimates available, but they don't really want to fight into the 5-man of Ad Finem. It's just terrifying.
I mean, yeah, Exorcism's there. You can have Ravage back up again in a bit and Godblack out of position.
That's a really bad pick, actually. They needed all their heroes up and available to fight if they were going to go on this, but they are going to be trading a Safe Flame tier 2. Well, the mid-tier 1 falls in their favor, and they're just keeping the train rolling, man. Still have not popped Exorcism either.
This is really, really impressive.
Thug even has an Invis as well, which is like one of the best runes for Death Prophet. Okay, he just pops it randomly, of course.
I might have timed out, though. Oh.
Yeah, no, actually, you're right, because it's almost 12 minutes, because it's every 2 minutes. So, yeah, it might have just timed out. Or they could have just popped it to go to the Roche Pit, which we'll see in a second.
I'm just going to smoke it, so doubling back. See what they can do.
Dire's top tower is
Always
under
want to
attack.
fly and Iceberg the 2 towards the mid. No, it's not going to be the 8. I mean, Chen, as we can see here. Ags Rush. Why not? 700 gold away from having it done.
I mean, you got a Tide Hunter. He's not going to go blink. He's just going to go mech.
And once you've got the Ancients involved in this push, you're going to have that by 15 minutes at this rate. That's, I mean, how do you stop that Team Spirit? It's going to be so hard. Again, at Finem, they've really been pulling out some impressive stuff this Dream League, and today is no exception. Game 1 was going their way, and Game 2 now, they're really starting to find their footing, and they've got to do something big to come back into this one on Spirit. The sentry's dropped, and again, another kill for the side of Ad Finem, and that's an Iceberg. Iceberg Invoker gone. Bottom lane, Funnick will be able to find himself a tier 1. He's continuing to rack up that gold on top of the level 1 Necro.
He's actually got so much money. He is rich right now. This is the guy I'm looking to kind of pull this back. You know, you get a good roar, you mana drain the Tide maybe when they're pushing high ground for no Ravage, and they can win a high ground fight, but Ad Finem playing the long game, they're just going to go for Roshan. Just making... Oh, roar. Madar's in trouble.
Got the Hand of God. Going to chase down his mana, but Amati's there with a backup. So Madara is going to be fine in this situation, but it was a close one.
Just imagine if Iceberg was actually alive there.
That was the thing, really. That was what they were missing there. Yeah, 1 Sunstrike and that would have done the job. They're actually not going to be able to finish off this Roche by the looks of it, even though they commit Exorcism for it. They actually opt to back off and just play it safe. A little bit wary that Team Spirit are back up in full force. I think, as you said, yeah, the fact that the Beastmaster Funnick is doing well in terms of gold, and of course, both the Invoker and the Ench, as the game goes on with their Midases, they're really going to come into it. So, as long as they can kind of hold off and not lose too much off the back of these early pushes that are being attempted by Ad Finem, things could start to look up for Team Spirit.
Oh, absolutely. Like 1 or 2 good high ground defense, and even getting this pick here on the Spartan is going to help tremendously.
Glimpse back as Team Spirit were able to close in with that smoke, and they might even have a shot at finishing off Roshan here. It's at half health. They're moving forward. Ad Finem still want to fight. They do have everything apart from the Exorcism up.
Oh, they can't fight without that. That is actually
Ravage and Death
really
Water there,
bad.
but it's not enough. They'll get it. Iceberg grabs himself the Aegis, and Team Spirit take Roshan.
That's a huge momentum swing, honestly, for Spirit. Like, they use the Exorcism in the pit to try to kill Roshan. Don't kill it back. Then Spartan gets picked, and then they lose Roshan. A really bad turn of events here for Ad Finem. And the problem is, their team, unlike a lot of the drafts that we've seen so far from them here at DreamLeague, is that they don't have the vision hero this game, so they're not going to be able to just choke out Team Spirit once they have an advantage. We've seen it time and time again. They get a Batrider, they get a Beastmaster, they get a Bounty. And even if they can't high ground, they constrict the map. That's what they do with their vision, but they don't actually have that hero. They just have a full-on push, I want to try to go high ground by like 20, 25 minutes and end the game kind of strategy. So those lineups aren't as good at maintaining control over the map because they do lack the vision control. Whereas Team Spirit, they have a Beastmaster. They can split push.
No matter a great setup from Funnick. Raw, Sunstrike, Illidan as well. And this now off the back of that, I think Funnick's pretty much got the gold here for level 3 Necro. Next time, he won't even need the Sven to do that. Raw, level 3 Necros and a Sunstrike, you're getting the kill on Timber every time at this point of the game.
And Team Spirit have played this very well. Just always making sure they're farming on somebody. Whenever the 5 mana is going around the map, Skylark just getting forced back here, all his mana being drained by the Necro Book. And this stuff is so annoying as a Tide Hunter. Close.
Get that amount of backban. That was a very, very good juke there from Skylark. That almost certainly would have killed him.
The Tide did go blink. I really thought he would just go mech. I suppose it's one of those...
interesting one, yeah, with the Axe Rush.
If you think of it this way, the mech is good when you're pushing high ground. but the mech is not as good when you're defending your own base because you want to try to get a better Ravage.
Okay, so you think the initial attention could have been indeed to get the mech, but the way that the game's panned out, he's reassessing the situation.
Yeah, I think he changed his mind. Because think of it this way, if the Death Prophet's hitting a tier 3 tower and you're standing behind her, you don't need a blink because the threat is your tower is just going to die. But if the enemy team is hitting your base and you're sitting back there with a mech, you can't get in. You can't just walk into a God Strength Sven, a Static Storm, and a Beastmaster. You're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, you're either going to get wrecked or you're going to get glimpsed back out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good change-up. Adaptation is necessary in games like this. They are definitely on the back foot, though. No question about that.
So they can find something big here. They're smoked up. This is going to be the Blink Dagger reveal. They're going to look for a jump at the sidelines. Matter's actually been caught out in the Static Storm as well. They'll get it. The Raw to seal the deal. They will find it. Mid lane, Finem started to move in, but of course Team Spirit backed off to make sure that the Ember kill was a successful one, and Ember down 40 seconds. Team Spirit, it looks like they have dealt with very nicely with that initial trouble that Finem were going to be bringing them with that 5-man push, and now Team Spirit are hitting back as hard and if not even harder as they're now knocking onto the tier 3s.
They just had that really nice timing between the Exorcism of Thug, getting that Roshan, taking it away from Finem is even the bigger point. Because if they get that Roshan, for example, they maintain map control for the next, 10 minutes, give or take. Or at least, 8 or 9, whatever the minimum respawn time is for Roshan. And that means that they're farming that whole time. Team Spirit aren't pressuring the map. And they can just get one extra item. They finished that Aghanims on Spartan, which he did get it, but it's a little bit later than he would have liked it to have been. And there's still a tier 1 in the off lane and a tier 2 mid. They are very far away from their timing in regards to when they're supposed to be going high ground.
I can see down at bottom, Matter just changing up Illidan, and it's a smart TP out as well. The rest of Finem were closing in on that bottom river. He gets himself out to safety.
I mean, Funix got his book 2 and a blink. He's 70 gold away from having the book 3, or even less, actually.
I mean, 18 minutes in as well. That is incredibly impressive.
Well, their goal in this game wasn't to try to shut down the Beastmaster, it was to try to push and win.
I mean, Funix was that was the thing. Every time Finem were going for a push as 5, Funix was going for a push as 1.
Right. And that's just the strength of the Beastmaster as well, because once you get the maxed out aura and you have Bora's Iron Talon.
Funix talking about the man, jumps in, Raw onto Spartan. Iceberg tries to finish him up, but now Spartan is going to be able to survive through the initial initiation from Spirit, and it's actually Finem just making sure that Spirit don't hang around anymore. Iceberg backs off, and that Raw there from Funix won't be able to find anything, but at the same time, they don't lose anything in return, and that is your level 3 Necro now picked up, as we were just talking about from Funix. 9-6 at the moment, 18, coming up to 19 minutes in. The net worth looking very good for the cause of the side of Team Spirit, but at Finem, as always, they do still have that threat of a really nice full 5-man, and of course, as we were talking about with that blink on the Tidehunter, just finding a huge Ravage, allowing the Death Prophet to get into position, getting out a multi-hero silence, and then the Death Ward as well. They've still got the potential to wipe Spirit if they're out of position in these team fights. But so far, Team Spirit, they've just been playing really smart in terms of position.
Yeah, and the nice thing, too, is Spirit can play the slow game. Late game Sven, Invoker, Beastmaster, or on top of that.
And with those Midases.
You're going to have great late game. You're going to have this kind of vision control, too, with the Beastmaster that we talked about Finem don't have access to. So they're not going to be able to play that game, At Finem, I really feel like they need at least one of those heroes because they play so well around it. I feel like this is something that's actually a bit unconventional for them to go for the full 5-man push instead of just saying, okay, we'll get one hero at least, a Night Stalker, a Bounty, a Bat, anything.
Yeah.
But they don't actually have a single one, which I find a little bit uncommon for them. But maybe they had a plan like this going into it. They still played it fairly well. It's just, I think between Team Spirit, Galblack's rotations early were really solid, and they stopped Roshan, got it for themselves. That was the huge turning point, absolutely. If Team Spirit didn't get that Roche, I'd say this game could have been almost over already in favor of Finem. That's how big of a difference that kind of thing makes.
Yeah, especially at that time of the game.
Yeah.
If they manage to get Roche. And I think, going back to Goldblack as well, on this end, she's had a much better game than as we saw in the Treant. Even though Treant is kind of, that's his hero. That's the hero that goes. He loves to pick it, he loves to draft it, he loves to play it. But on the end, he was just able to get so much more done this game. And I think it just goes back to the fact that in the draft, they kind of look, game 1, we kind of messed up the drafting phase. We let Finem have exactly what they want, and they managed to force Finem into a little bit more of a corner. Finem still coming up with a lineup that obviously had good intentions and had a strat, had a plan early on, and by all means still does have potential at this point. But Team Spirit, they certainly just seem to be using their tools a lot better in Game 2 and able to deal with what Finem have just that little bit more easier than in Game 1. as
I'll
we've seen
see.
so far.
If they can continue that here. Some warding being done here by maybe next time. I do think that there are a couple of ways that Finem can actually make their way back into the game. But if Team Spirit play like the war of attrition and just choke you out, use Beastmaster Vision, place Hawks everywhere, and just constrict you, it's a very tough game to play out.
Oh, Finem. He's very close to a hell of a lot of them here. And that Crow, it's just holding them back, and Scarlet's going to look to trying to find that up there. Thug, nicely done there. Takes the gold and yules himself to duke out the deeps. And Iceberg trying to turn around onto Madara as Madara jumps in onto him. Madara's got the backup of MNT, and he'll drop down the Death Ward, but Witch Doctor's going to be glimpsed back there by Always Wanna Fly, cancelling the Death Ward, and no kill's going to be found for the time being. Skylark jumps forward here. Always Wanna Fly. Is he going to Ravage for this? He's not. Not worth it, he decides at the end of the day.
I think Ravaging actually is worth it, though.
You reckon at this point when you're behind?
Yeah, I think with this type of team, especially since the tier 1's like right there, I mean, I think you Ravage for that because you know that Iceberg is already gone anyway, and there's probably not going to be a team fight because he TP's out. So, you know, you still have Exorcism to fall back on as well. There's no Aegis because you know that it was gone after you went on the Invoker anyway. I think it's one of those things where you can't really justify using it on a support, but at the same time, with this type of lineup, when you're behind, I feel like you need to just like kitchen sink everyone. You know what I mean? Just going like, oh, you're dead, pop all our ultis, kill you. Because the kills are just that much more valuable for getting the map control back.
Oh, Skylark jumps in. Always Wanna Fly is gonna glimpse him back here, but this time Madara gets tag teamed in, but Always Wanna Fly lays down the statics on the kinetic field as well. This man's play on the Disruptor. It's very, very flashy. He may still be in trouble, and he is. Madara will come forward, but Always Wanna Fly really makes them work for it, and this is going to give the opportunity for Finem. Mid lane, starting to get a bit of a push on. Royal MNT with the Unisys when he might just find the kill, and he does. Hand of Gold was not enough to save the Witch Doctor. Finem will pay with his life, though. But as we're seeing at this point, Team Spirit just trying to play around the aggression that Finem are going for as a group. And, you know, manages to get a bit of a sizable force down that mid lane and brings down a Witch Doctor with himself.
Yeah, I think the kill for Finem is more than worth it. Like, Beastmaster is just so much more valuable than a Witch Doctor at this stage in the game. Like, that Witch Doctor is level 8 and just has Arcane Boots pretty much to his name. Not really the highest net worth target by any means, but again, a kill is a kill, I suppose, and he was sitting pretty much right outside of Finem.
It was kind of deep.
Yeah, it's not as if Finem can really do anything, you know, anyway, because there's no Roshan up right now. That Chen is making his way towards a mech now after having finished the Aghanims, and to be fair, this Chen is still fairly farmed. You know, 22 minutes in, almost has mech and Aghanims. That ain't too shabby. They got 2 outer 2 towers remaining to go for. And then after that, you know, maybe try to get the next Roshan and go for a fight. But the issue with their team, actually, and why the Roshan is even more important for them, as we're going to see Illidan kind of roaming around here for the moment, is they need to Exorcism Rosh to kill it, or it's going to be mega slow. Like, the Chen creeps
they've just not got
are going to tank it. Like, your Ember doesn't even have Battle Fury yet, and it's like 23 minutes in.
Oh, they've just seen him. They've dropped this sentry. If Illidan comes around, they know they're going to see him with this observer on the high ground as well, and they know he's dead. He's going to walk straight into this. They Ravage. They're not messing around, but do they have to follow up damage? Illidan, he just continues to walk in, and with the Roars and spot on the Stormhammer as well, the Sunstrike, they found one. Static still gets laid down by Illidan with the BKB, with the Godstrike moving forward, sending Finem back. Talking about being sent back. Glimpse onto Thug, bringing him back into the middle of this fight. He'll use himself up. Scarlet jumping in as well, but Illidan continues to do what he can with the Godstrike Stormhammer onto Thug, trying to find this Death Prophet kill. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Takes down Thug on the Death Prophet. 3 down on the side of Finem. Madara manages to get himself out of the fight there with the Remnant. There's going to be a Sunstrike. It is off point, but we'll be able to duke it out. But again, these team fights, Team Spirit just playing that little bit better here in game 2, and it's really hurting Finem. They don't know how to deal with it. You saw them ravage the Sven and be like, all right, we've seen him, we've caught him, but now what? What do we do? We've ravaged him. How do we kill him?
Yeah, there was actually no way they had the damage for that, unfortunately. They are going to be able to force Team Spirit back, but I don't think they can actually pursue. Yeah, he's even going to get netted by the summoner there.
Get netted, mate.
But this is kind of that stage in the game where, as Finem, you already wanted to have gotten a set of racks, maybe even 2.
You don't,
if everything is going according to plan. This is not a late game oriented lineup, especially when your Death Prophet died twice in the laning phase. You know, Thug's doing what he can, but he's still pretty much playing a recovery game. If you compare his farm to the Invokers, it's not really close. So at this stage, maybe taking a long, drawn-out fight, kiting around the Sven is your best bet, but it's kind of tough. You know, you're playing against Disruptor, Beastmaster. There's heroes that can pull you out of position, catch you out really easily. We talked extensively about the Vision game. Roshan's being done here by Team Spirit, and with no ultimates available on that Finem.
They can't really do anything. I mean, they're smoked up, they're moving in.
They have no Ravage, no Exorcism. This fight is, like, super hard for them to take.
Yeah, they just got to let it go. And it will indeed. Team Spirit take the Roshan. They get themselves the Aegis once again onto Iceberg. And things are going from just kind of better to better for the side of Spirit. As you said, Invoker looking very, very good in terms of his game at the moment. 14.6k and no signs of slowing down and no signs of Finem being able to stop him. And as we saw in that last fight, they just don't have the means to kill this Sven. I mean, they're relying on the Ember to get his farm. He only managed to get the Battle Fury just about a couple of minutes ago, about 23 minutes in, which is going to be kind of nice for dealing with the high ground push from Team Spirit, but it's just a Battle Fury. He hasn't got anything to follow up with the damage on top of that, and it's getting to the point where they just can't fight through this Sven and his armor.
Well, if it wasn't already bad enough, there's also a blink on Illidan now too. Like, the last fight, he just had BKB, which is already kind of tough to deal with. But now, because he can actually jump in on his own accord, he doesn't have to have anyone set up for him. It makes it even more threatening because there is no lockdown for him through BKB. No stuns. So now he's going to BKB, jump in. If anybody gets roared, they're dead. Like, a Chen send back and a heal is not going to be enough because you're just going to die too quickly. So now, again, it's just Finem waiting for Team Spirit to maybe overextend, try to bait out the God Strength, try to kite the Sven as much as you can, I suppose. But this is something that, you know, Mad was talking about when he was here, is that Finem like to pick lineups that require heavy execution, and this is one of them. Especially when you're playing against Team Spirit's lineup with a late game Sven, because there's no way you're going to win late game against Team Spirit's lineup with what Finem have. It's just way too difficult.
I mean, I just don't see how they can kill the Sven.
They can't.
They
can.
What series of events? I mean, you're never going to be able to stun him long enough to stop him from getting out the BKB. He's always going to have that war cry, so all the damage you do through the BKB in terms of like the physical, you know, the damage from the DP's ult, Ember just with the occasional sleight of fist spam, war cry's going to be there. It really is a game where the Sven is just completely out of hand, and you don't have the lineup to deal with him.
Yeah, but that's why I was speaking to the way the Finem draft. They like to pick teams where they need to execute their game plan very well in order to win. This one is even more execution heavy, I would say, than Game 1, because I feel like Team Spirit picked kind of a wonky draft in Game 1, and especially the way they laned it too. But this time around, it's Team Spirit with a very solid draft.
Oh. Illidan was just moving in there, seeing if he could get a blink initiation. But I'm playing a bit safer now, Finem, just keeping themselves up on the high ground. I mean, as well, Iceberg's just been having a great time going around the map, clicking creeps. He picked up his hacks, and now he's got 3k gold on top of that as well.
Just farm everything. That's the game plan. We can keep Finem in the base forever, says Team Spirit. We'll just use Beastmaster Vision as best we can. We know that Finem are not going to have the late game advantage regardless. We're in no rush to finish the game. If we need to, we can wait for another Roshan spawn.
Maybe if this Ember managed to pull a Daedalus and a Rapier out his backside, they'd have a chance, but that's not going to happen.
It's a lot of money. That's like 12k gold.
Yeah, it's looking tough for Finem at this point. It really is. I mean, Game 1, it got to the point where Finem were in a position where it was like, well, the Spirit, it feels like they literally can't do anything, and now Game 2 entirely turned on its head. Team Spirit came into this game with a different approach in terms of the draft. It certainly worked out in the gameplay, and just the way that they've performed with these heroes. It's too much for Finem this time and their lineup. They'll try and hold this back here at the moment, but Spirit moving in onto the tier 3. What have they got to stop it? Matter jumps in with the chains. Out come the Ghost. Skylar with a nice Ravage onto 3. Turns onto Iceberg. There comes the Death Ward as well, but he'll walk it off.
It did no damage.
They've got the control, but they just haven't got the deeps.
It did actually no damage because of the war cry.
I think it healed him.
Yeah. Poor Witch Doctor, man. A 60 damage Death Ward at 30 minutes into the game against a Sven with what? With
Death
war cry on.
Less of a Death Ward, more of just a minor illness ward.
Yeah. That was pretty sad for a Witch Doctor. Hopefully there's no one out there who likes playing the hero, because that's got to be demoralizing.
Oh, there we go. Illidan, I mean, Illidan, he's getting a bit ballsy now. He just feels he can just walk up to the steps, walk back. Easy, no armor at all.
Yeah, but this is a thing that you can take note of Ad Finem. I think if you're a team playing against them and you watch like this kind of game, is you know what kind of stuff they like to do, and oftentimes they don't even really have the better late game. It's more just about early game aggression, trying to end it within like 25-30 minutes. You know, game 1 is another example of that. Their lineup was capable of fighting at a very early stage. This one is no exception. This one's just more of an all-in. It's like we all-in push you, especially with a safe lane Ember. That's the other problem, because the way that it matches up with Beastmaster and Sven.
Oh, Black. He can't do what Sven can do. He can't just stand there, because they will burst him down. He may have the untouchable, may have the heals, but he may have the armor.
Okay.
Iceberg. It's going to be fun here. The static storm controls Madara, allowing the Invoker to walk this one off.
Tower is under attack.
He's actually opting to put more points into Voodoo Restoration than he is Maldict at this point in the game.
Oh, Madara. For the change there onto Illidan. Wasn't able to find it. Caught the creeps on the side camp.
Are under attack.
They do manage to push Spirit back, at least for the time being, but as we said earlier, Spirit will just be like, okay, you don't want us to break the base, we'll just clear up some of the lanes on the map and a few camps as well. What are you going to do about it? You're probably just going to sit in your own base, stay on the high ground. You're not going to be coming out anytime soon. So Team Spirit, they're like, all right, we'll finish the game in 5 minutes if you don't want us to finish it now.
Yeah, exactly. They can delay it as much as they want. There's no rush. Even Funnick is just sitting in the woods right now, looking for a potential pick, doing some dewarding. They are just not giving Ad Finem any breathing room whatsoever. A slow and painful death, it seems, so far for Ad Finem here in game number 2.
I mean, as we said, I think if you look towards what the possibilities are for Ad Finem, it's the Ember Spirit. He has managed to find a Chrysalis, but he's got it, as we said.
Oh, he might be dead.
Okay, well there's...
Close.
They really can't afford to lose the Ember now.
I think if Iceberg was faster with that stun, or faster with the Sunstrike, excuse me, yeah, he definitely would have died. Because it was like after the second auto attack, I think, that he realized, and he's like, oh, let me just pop my Sunstrike.
Satanic done on Illidan as well now. If you're not killing him before, you're not killing him now.
Yeah, I find it a bit odd, actually, that he decided to go for Satanic, but I suppose it's one of those things where you can actually just walk up to the racks and hit them.
Yeah.
And there is almost no way you'll die before you can pop BKB.
No.
So in that sense, I think it's a really nice choice. But oftentimes when you're this far ahead, you see like Moonshard and stuff like that. We've been seeing a lot less crits lately, as far as I know.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. They seem to be the item a lot of the times on the Svens. It's all about those stats.
Well, it's about the stats.
Maybe an attack speed.
Okay, Madara. Might have overstayed your welcome.
So at some point, Hanifgod comes out. Oh! All right, Spartan.
No, he went back in. No, not like this.
What?
The impetus was still in midair, so he went back in and took a chunk load of damage from the auto attack and just died.
He does have buyback available. He's going to use it, but the Ravage coming through from Skylark. He's going to catch a Goblet, but Illidan moving in onto Thug. Now Illidan.
Oh, that's not who you want to be next to.
No, that could be a dieback. Oh, and it is. All right. And just like that, 4 heroes down on the side of Ad Finem, and it looks like this game may come to an end, and it does indeed. GG, well played at the start. Thug greet this game with a good luck, unhappy face. Maybe he's a little bit of a prophet, a death prophet. Prophesized the death of his team in this game with that unhappy face. 19 for 9. Spirit did it. They certainly showed their weaknesses in game 1 in terms of the drafting and the play style, but here we have in game 2 what you kind of expect in terms of Illidan's farming, his ability to choose the fights when he can. He ends the game 3-0-5, and as you said, just Goldblack's play on the Enchantress, the laning stage. Iceberg on his Invoker, incredibly comfortable hero. Disruptor, always want to fly, something that we're excited to see from the start. And Funnick on his Beastmaster. He found the space to farm, found the space to push. And as you said, Ad Finem's plan, we know what they like to do, didn't work out this time.
Yeah, they tried to go for an execution-heavy draft, standard stuff from them. The only difference is the one vision hero that they normally have. You know, that's the one thing that I really think is key for them. It's just having something, especially when it's maybe next time. I think you got to give that guy a hero where he can actually control pace. Yeah. I don't like seeing him on stuff like Witch Doctor, you know? You don't put Dendi on like... Okay, you do put him on Death Prophet because he owned with that hero when they played at Starlighter, but you know what I mean.
It's not... It doesn't fit with the kind of the rest of the heroes that they play that they normally
and,
show off on.
And I feel like he's more of an impact player than he is the kind of sit back and wait for my time kind of player. So in that regard, I was kind of iffy about it from the get-go. But really nice game from Team Spirit. They managed to tie things up 1-1 on the back of some pretty ridiculous farm. And they did enough in the laning phase to stem the tide of Finem. They got 2 kills on the Death Prophet. They killed Skylark once. I think that was the first blood when they tower dove him. And, you know, that's just enough. You know, you don't need to do that much during a laning phase of Spirit. You just need to make sure that you're not getting rolled over. And the Death Prophet dying twice, I think Thug definitely struggled in this game to really have any sort of meaningful impact. And the Ember, I know what they were trying to do with it, but when your team is losing that badly against a Sven, Ember is not going to be able to carry your damage output on his own.
No.
And unfortunately, the train of Team Spirit just couldn't be stopped.
Absolutely, and this is kind of good for us, at least here at DreamLeague, because Team Spirit, of course, they're going to be playing again today in the second series, and they're going to go against Na'Vi, who have obviously had a bit of a good run recently at Star Ladder. So it's going to be interesting to see if Team Spirit, they're stepping it up against Finem. See if they can step it up against Na'Vi in the second series today. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we're actually going to head straight to the panel to hear what they have to say about Game 2 between Spirit and Finem, with Spirit taking the victory. We'll see you guys about.